Mhm. Yeah, it's going to start. Okay, now it's starting. Just a moment. Mute. Yeah, perfect. So again, I would like to start to asking you. So, what was general impression of FESPA? Maybe you stayed there for 2 days, and what was your first impression, and what you found in general at the show exhibition?
Okay.
FESPA. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that the most important thing to say, which everybody I spoke to had the same idea, that the not so much what was seen at the show was important. The really important thing is the show itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone was very happy to be there, very grateful to FESPA for organizing the show. It was a very great sense of relief that people can meet again. So I think people were generally very very happy and very optimistic about this, and very much looking forward to seeing this as the first show and many more to come after this now.
Right. Do you have any gut feeling that how many percentage that, okay, if the last FESPA, I don't know, I cannot remember exactly when, in fact, it should be, some months in 2019. If that level is 100, how crowded the corridor or the venue itself?
It's quite hard to tell. The show was quite a lot smaller than normal. It's difficult to tell with FESPA because each year they use a different venue. So the last time that we were in Amsterdam was 2016, which was also a small show because it was just a couple of months before the Drupal show that year. So if I compare with that show, it was maybe half the size, maybe a bit smaller than the 2016 show, but that was a small show. I think if we compare with some of the more recent FESPAs, it's perhaps a third to a quarter of the size. Certainly quite a lot smaller. And a lot of big players are missing. So, for example, no Ricoh, no HP, no Fujifilm. So, yeah. So quite a smallish show. Also quite wide, big spaces between the stands. So the immediate impression is not so crowded, but I think that's unfair because there's more space. Certainly, all of the vendors seemed quite happy with the people they were talking to. Everybody said the same. Everyone said that the visitors had come to not just to look, but had come to buy equipment, and of course that is important to the vendors.
Okay, I will check it later by browsing FESPA official website. But which major company was missing and which was there? So you said HP was missing, Ricoh was not there. Maybe Canon was there.
Canon was there. Let's see. Well, if I go for the biggest stands, that's probably the easiest. So the biggest stand was, or amongst the biggest, were probably Agfa, Durst, Mimaki.
Okay.
All quite busy throughout the show. Canon also was there. What else? Who would be missing? Muto, not really. They have a small presence on the STS stand, but not Muto itself.
Which one? Which company?
Muto.
Muto. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, Muto missing. The HP missing. Fujifilm. Epson.
But I saw that Paddy O'Hara was there.
Yeah. So I met with Paddy, who is selling printheads, but Epson itself is missing.
Okay.
So yeah, quite a lot of major players.
Okay, good. So I will share the screen. Maybe from day 1 to day 3, or just a moment, from report 1 to report 2. Just a moment, please. So this was the photos you sent me on October 12th. So this is the entrance or the hall, and then this is some posters and guiding people to the entrance D for some PCR or some such showing to show the certificate of COVID. Yeah.
Yes, each morning you had to go. You use a side entrance first and prove that you have been vaccinated, and they give you a little sticker on your wrist before you can go into the main entrance.
Okay, just a moment. Oh, sorry, I forgot. Okay, so this is the hall, and this is the guide poster to go to the entrance D to check everything. Every morning we have to check. They will check it. Okay?
Yes, even though I have the same vaccination pass and it doesn't change, each morning you have to check anyway.
Each morning we have to check. Okay, okay. I think at least maybe next maybe half a year, I would say maybe same procedure will remain like this.
Yes, I don't think that's going to go away anytime soon.
Okay. So this is the maybe the very early one. Your first one you sent me the photo. This is a new Swiss Q print, right?
Yes. So Swiss Q basically use the same platform for all of their flatbeds. So there's 3 models. The Oryx is the entry level, and there's the Nyala and an Impala.
Yeah, Impala. Okay.
I think this is a Nyala. Anyway, basically the same imaging platform. So they've upgraded the print heads. They were using Konica Minolta 1024i, and now they've upgraded to the same Konica Minolta but 1280i. Much more nozzles, basically.
Okay. Any exciting upgrade other than inkjet head? So inkjet head upgrade means they made the speed as a little bit increased, right?
What's mainly changed is the productivity. They have the same speeds, but because the resolution has gone up, you can essentially use a higher productivity mode to get the same quality.
Okay.
The print quality was very, very good.
Yeah.
I was quite surprised. On this picture here, this is printed at 206 square meters per hour. Just before that, they were printing at 55 square meters per hour. There wasn't a huge amount of difference in print quality. I was quite surprised at how good it is at that speed.
Yeah. I think I have no doubt about the quality of this company, SysQ.
Yeah, it's very good. So not cheap at all. And to get a really high speed, you need to really put an extra row of print heads. But they're extremely solid, reliable machines. Okay. Somebody is asking one question. I think this is as regards to the Vanguard. Maybe we will touch Vanguard later. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Come. Oh yeah. now it's already Vanguard. So this is the Vanguard branded, and this is Dust. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So so Durst showed off 2 sides, their own equipment and the Vanguard. So Vanguard is an American company which has been making mostly flatbeds and roll-to-roll printers, which Durst bought about a year ago. The acquisition gives Durst basically better access to the US market and helps them expand.
Okay.
And it gives them the opportunity to use the Vanguard printers. There was some question mark, I think, beginning as to whether or not they would distribute the Vanguard equipment in Europe, but they announced at the show that that's what they will do. This machine is interesting because this is the new what do they call it, VR6D, I think. Almost all of their machines use Kyocera print heads, but this particular one uses Ricoh. And the reason for that is to keep the price down.
Okay.
This is an entry-level model. It's very important to the US market to keep the price below $75,000 in order to, because that is the threshold where it's easier for companies to get hold of bank loans.
Okay. I have some question because Dust is already well-established company as a manufacturer, and they have a very high-end product level, and also their distribution network is already very established, I believe. In Europe, of course, and in Japan, they appointed NSK. Its name itself is a little bit strange, but Japan, drawing tools, drawing tool, like a drafter or something like. It's strange name anyway. It looks nothing to do with the printing, but they have they appointed some company in Japan, and also they have some direct channel in the US, right? Dust. And do they still need Vanguard for the distribution?
Partly, Vanguard helps with the distribution, but the main advantage of Vanguard is that they have a good list of customers, so it's potential customers.
So Dust want to sell its own machine with the Dust brand through Vanguard channel to the Vanguard customer, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, they will be able to expand. And don't forget, Vanguard is only wide format, but Durst has a lot more.
Oh yes, sure.
Durst also has textile, ceramic, and of course label printers.
Yeah.
So a much bigger operation. Vanguard does also have a single pass printer.
Single pass?
A single pass, yeah.
Single pass for what?
Like a single pass document printer.
Okay. Okay. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Good.
No, they don't make a big thing of it, and I think they're redesigning it, but at the moment, but still.
And this machine looks like maybe China made or very simple. And I think some Chinese company is offering like this kind of very simple flatbed machine. Looks like. Is there any announcement? Because Vanguard is a US company. I don't believe that this machine is made in the USA. No.
They certainly are sourcing some components from China. The machine, well, certainly designed in the USA. I couldn't comment if it was made there or not. But I would say that I was quite surprised talking with the Vanguard CEO that the US market seems to be very far behind the European market. He was saying that US printers mostly concentrate on buying the printer and will often do the finishing manually. In Europe, that just doesn't happen. Everything is automated. When we buy the printer, we also buy a cutting table and we automate things.
Okay, good. So anyway, this printer, the Dust bought this company, but within the Dust product line, this is the a kind of low end for Dust, right?
Well, this is the entry level for Vanguard, this particular machine. I don't know if I'd say it was low end. I think it's a good compliment because Durst doesn't have flatbed printers. They've only had hybrid. So it's quite good for Durst to have a flatbed to offer. Also in Europe, the Vanguard machines Vanguard is setting up a separate operation inside Europe. So they're not just going through Durst's dealers, they're setting up their own distributors.
Okay, good. Now, okay, I got 3 questions, but all 3 questions is there. With regards to this Vanguard machine. Okay, now they are covered. Thank you.
Okay.
And,
this is the first. This is Durst iSub. So this was announced. I can't remember now. Earlier this year, I think. This is a 3.2 meter wide die sublimation printer.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Huge, wide format. Okay.
Yeah. Again, what's interesting, I think, about this machine is that there's a built-in calendar for so you can literally pass one single pass print and fix in one go. I think there's some discussion as to whether or not you need to do that because the the drying unit cannot keep up with the higher speeds of the printer.
Yeah, but I think 3.2 meters wide paper, I think this is not easy to handle. So I think if they can do it in one shot, so print and dry and fix, transfer to the fabric, I think it may not be a bad idea. This is my understanding. Yeah, once that you print the paper and you unload from the printer and put it load to the your calendar, and then attach set the roll fabric and to fix it, transfer it. I think this is lousy, isn't
it? Yeah, it depends on the speed. Usually the calendar can only run at a certain speed. So if you want the higher speeds, you have to buy a separate calendar, but you've already paid for the drying unit on this machine.
Okay, but I think this is the first time, even though announcement has already done, the dye sublimation printer for dust. I think this is the very first time, right?
No, Durst have had dye sublimation printers before. Durst has a long history of textile printers, initially starting with for soft signage and then moving into more broadly into the textile market.
Yeah, I know that they have a wide format printer and fast print for the fashion, but the fashion industry did not accept fast quality and then switched to the home furnishing. So I know everything was print direct onto the fabric. I did not know that Dust has a sublimation machine, dye sub machine.
Yeah, they've had dye sublimation for quite a long time. This is the latest of a long line. They've redesigned and started from a new platform of this, but it's definitely not the first dye sublimation printer they've had.
Okay. Okay. Another question came out. This machine, this person who raised a question. So one ink can print on the transfer paper, and at the same time, it is possible to print directly on the fabric. Is that so?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I think it would give you a choice: paper or fabric.
With the same ink.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. Good. Oh, okay. This is a booth or corridor, and you have another angle of the same position. Oh, EFI was there.
Yes. Well, EFI Reggiani is here. So
Reggiani was there.
Yeah. So this is an interesting thing because normally you would expect to see at FESPA, you would see the other side of the EFI, you would see Vutek.
Yeah.
But here it's Reggiani, which is not really what you would expect to see at FESPA.
I think Reggiani or like MS or SPG or even a Konica Minolta. I think FESPA is more for signage show, and originally it was a screen printing show. Federation of European Screen Printers Association or something like that. So it was meant to the visitor was mainly from the screen printing people. But now screen printing for the textile and also the inkjet printer for the textile is moved to like typically IPMA or some other textile focused exhibition, right? So I think you are right. I think this it's a bit strange. Not Vutek, but Reggiani is here.
I think it's a COVID thing. I think it's because Reggiani is headquartered in Milan. It's relatively easy. Vutek is in North America. It's much harder to travel.
Okay.
But even so, the whole show had a slightly strange feeling because normally because FESPA uses different locations each year, and they are quite the organizers are quite good at tailoring the exhibition for particular cities. So in general, you would expect to see a lot of textile printing in Southern Europe. So the last show, which was cancelled before the lockdown, was in Madrid. And Madrid is very much very close to European textile production. So you'd expect to see a lot of textile printing at that kind of show. Whereas in the Northern European shows, Hamburg, Amsterdam, they mostly attract an audience that's more interested in display graphics. So at that kind of show, we would normally expect to see more UV flatbeds.
Yeah.
But really, the show is quite a mixture of things. There's some quite high-end textile production, like EFI, also MS was there as well. All mixed together, though, with also quite low-end and display graphics. So it was a bit of a mix.
Oh, next question pops up. Does Alpha series with pigmented ink, was that there or not exhibited?
No, not
Alpha
there.
series.
No Alpha. No really big machines. The Durst machines were probably the biggest. No, I think Durst and Agfa have the two biggest stands and the biggest machines.
Yeah. But biggest, but only this one, and not the
nothing bigger than
Alpha
that.
series. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, as far as I understand that the FESPA, which was planned last year March in Barcelona, they had that FESPA sportswear or something.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So that was because the show was planned for Madrid.
Yeah.
Which is, as I was saying, that's very much a textile production area, or FESPA would normally attract more textile producers to it. So they planned the sportswear event alongside that. But of course, with the Madrid show was cancelled, all of that plan had to change as well.
So this time, no sportswear special.
No special things at all. Really, quite one central hall and a couple of smaller bits of smaller halls on the side.
Okay.
But nothing extra on the side.
Okay. Did you have a chance to meet my client or somebody from the organization, FESPA?
I didn't talk to them at the show because they are all from the UK. It's easy for me to contact them here anyway. And also, I've written stories for FESPA, so it's easy for me to deal with them. So I didn't want to spend too much time on. I wanted to concentrate on the show at the things I would not normally be able to see.
Okay. Yeah. Good. Oh, this is an empty corner.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Roland is there.
Yes, Roland. Yeah.
And Flora. Yeah, I think you reported that no Chinese, only some European guys or maybe US guys there for the stand, but no Chinese guy.
No, but even so, this is interesting for me because Flora is a company I've long been interested in, but quite hard to deal with because only based in China.
Yeah.
But now this is a Polish distribution company that is going to start selling the Flora equipment in Europe. So that's quite interesting.
I think that Poland, distributor in Poland is already appointed well before. So, but first time they came to FESPA here in Europe and maybe support. Yeah, because normally a lot of Chinese guy visit FESPA to show and talk and something. But this time maybe Polish guy. As there's no Chinese, they spotlighted, highlighted.
No Chinese, no Indian, no Asian people at all. I met 2 or 3 Americans. That was all. Everybody else is from Europe.
And have you found some other maybe China branded printer like Handtop? Or
yes, Handtop was there as well.
Yeah. Okay. Skyjet.
Sorry.
Skyjet.
Skyjet. No.
No. JHF. No.
No.
Okay. Yeah. I will check the list of official organized exhibitor later. Okay. So this is number 2 days. This guy is I know this guy. Global
Yes,
graphic.
Mike Rottenbaum. Yeah.
Okay. What the show?
Hmm?
What is the show? The machine? Global graphic. What was the point?
So they have a smaller stand that showed the four parts of the when the show started, the company was called Global Graphics PLC, but halfway through the show, they changed their name to Hybrid Software.
Okay.
So the one company owns four companies. So Global Graphics, of course, which makes the RIPs. Then they bought Hybrid Software, which mostly makes packaging software.
Yeah.
And they also own Meteor Inkjet, which produces drive electronics for print heads.
Yes.
And they have Zytron, which is mostly an American developer of mainly small machines.
So they changed the name of the group company, not anymore Global Graphics, but they will change to the Hybrid Software Group, right?
Yes. So Global Graphics before was just Global Graphics Software, and it's now still Global Graphics Software, but the group name has changed from Global Graphics PLC to Hybrid Software Group.
Okay. Okay.
Which is because last year, Global Graphics bought Hybrid, but really it's more of a reverse takeover. It was really Hybrid taking over Global Graphics because the shares in both companies are owned by the same people.
Okay. Very good. And then, Terra Silva. This is a Reggiani machine. Yeah. EFI Reggiani, please. Okay.
Yeah.
You said that I had an interesting conversation with the Adele Genomi, Senior Vice President and General Manager EFI Reggiani, on the trend in the market now that most countries are starting to open up their economies after the pandemic, but with new challenges of shortage in the supply chain. Yeah, okay.
Yes, the supply chain is clearly a big problem. It's affecting companies like Reggiani because they need to get hold of chips and things, which is a problem.
Yeah.
But everybody will have the same problem. And Adele was saying that it is ironic that everything was shut down because of the pandemic, and now they're trying to open up, and it's still difficult to open up because of the supply chain problems.
Yeah. I just checked the newspaper news that Toyota in October, 15% smaller production number if you compare it with the last year because of the shortage of semiconductors or some key parts.
It is a big problem. And I saw a news report that Apple, which has just announced a new version of their iPhone, but they're having to cut production of that as well.
Yeah, iPhone 13 or something. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. And also the oil price is increasing, and also some wheat price. Everything, some food and some steel and oil are increasing. That's crazy. That is hitting our life cost.
Yes, and this is going to be a big problem for next year. This year is still getting over the COVID, but next year the big problem is going to be coping with the very high prices. It's going to affect everything. It's going to affect how we develop new machines and how we can supply and install them, and how people, which machines people want to buy.
Oh, next year. Oh yeah, already 3 months to go to the next year.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. This is Canon. Okay. Canon will say, or now it's Canon. So this is a new Arizona.
No, the only thing that's new is the ink. So the ink before, let me get right around. I think the ink had a semi-gloss finish, and they have a new ink which has a matte finish. You can choose which ink to use. You can change from one to the other. Not really recommended. You're better off to pick which ink you need. So whether or not you need a matte or a semi-gloss finish.
So they have two types of ink, but you say that it is not recommendable to change ink if once matte ink is installed machine, and they don't recommend to change the ink already one type is installed. So they have two inks, but they have to buy the customer have to buy two machines. If
That
they
is
go
their
to,
preference. Yeah, you can change the ink, but it takes time. You've got to flush out the ink. It's a lot of time, a lot of waste. You
I
don't really
know.
want to do it very often.
And some contamination is always the issue. So
I think also we are seeing this trend a lot now with companies producing multiple ink sets, and they say it's to give the customers more choice, but a big part of it is to persuade customers to buy more machines.
Yeah. I think it is a good idea to have maybe different type of ink set, but in the end of the day, it means that they want to sell two machines.
Yeah, I think really the idea of changing between a matte and a semi-gloss finish, it's quite possible in most cases to do that by changing the curing. So you can adapt the finish. I think it's a more efficient way to do it.
Yeah. I think if the company, printer manufacturer could, successfully develop one type of ink and just setting the curing or maybe some jetting or some lip software, whatever, and then we can get clearly two types of finishing. That is a smart idea or smartest idea.
Yeah, it's particularly for wide format, because most wide format users have a whole mixture of different jobs each day. It's very difficult for them to really say one type of work suits one type of ink.
Yeah. So this is the photo of a cutter?
Yeah, so this is not a new idea. Canon have been doing this for a while, but I thought it was interesting to see the production line. So they're using the Colorado to print wallpaper and the Fresba to finish it. Yes. Yeah.
So they print out here, outletted here, and go directly into photoba printer and photoba cutter, and they cut it here. Okay.
Exactly, and that produces the finished roll of paper comes out the end then.
All right.
Yeah, it's a very nice effect, and the Colorado's had a lot of success for that.
Okay. Good. And this is Agfa. Okay, Agfa.
Yeah. Okay, so Agfa had a very good show. Very hard to get photographs of Agfa because it was just so crowded. It was probably the most crowded stand of the whole show. Which is partly because they're also right next to the entrance.
Oh, by the way, again, this is Agfa. They have die sub machine now. It's
so this is a good conversation to have, because this also goes back to what we were saying about the Durst. So the main difference here is that Agfa is just you print onto their machine, and then you need a separate calendar. With the Durst, you can print and finish in one go. So the advantage of the Durst, of course, is a single process, print, finish, all done. But the disadvantage is that you can't hit the highest speeds because the calendar can't keep up. So with this machine, you can run it at the highest speed, but you have to go out and buy the calendar.
Yeah, I think everything is pros and cons. You know that cutting plotter, like Zund in the past, they combined the cutting table and also the flatbed inkjet, and the team that developed that flatbed inkjet was spun out from Zund, because Mr. Zund decided it was a good idea, but he thought twice. So when people is cutting, they cannot print. When they are printing, they cannot cut. So I think in the end of the day, it is a better idea to separate. So, and the team who developed inkjet part established its own company. It is SwissQ.
Yes.
In
general, if you can separate the processes out, you can generally have higher production. I think in terms of if we're talking about textile production, it's usually better to do that. There is a good argument, I think, though, for some soft signage companies to have everything in one machine, because it's easier for them to train operators that way. They don't necessarily need a higher speed. They just need steady throughput and no expense on training.
But this machine looks like maybe somewhere made in Asia. Not,
yeah, I don't know.
yeah, I think that because this is a fact that Alpha is one source is the Delhi, and another source is the former Gandhi Innovation, which was bought by Alpha, located in the Toronto. So, but as far as I understand, the Delhi is focused on the UV printer, but Delhi has its own, it's a brother company in Korea. Good, good.
Okay.
Just a moment, and then the last one came from this morning. So, this is the Mimaki. They have 2 printers. Right? Okay. Any comments for this?
Only that yeah, Mimaki had quite a good stand, quite large, lots of people on it. We were quite busy. Yeah, I quite like these small flatbeds. I think they're quite effective machines. What interests me here is that this small 3D printer they developed. So they took a lot of the knowledge they learned from developing that and applied it to a small flatbed.
Okay. That's interesting. Very compact Roland.
Yes.
So
this is a small desktop printer cutter.
Yeah.
This is identical to the existing model. The only thing that's changed is they've taken out one of the print heads and one of the ink channels. So yeah. So this only has 4 colors, whereas the older model had 5. But some customers don't need 5.
Yeah. Okay. So the price is maybe 20% lower.
Yes. Well, certainly lower. How much I don't know. Yeah, lower price, and of course lower ink cost.
Yeah.
The main problem with the old machine, because you had to fill the space. So if you didn't want to use white or varnish, then you ended up sticking an extra magenta into the space, which then wastes magenta ink. So plus you have to pay for the machine. This is cheaper if you just want the 4 colors.
Yeah. Okay.
Depends what you want to do with it, of course. I think for this kind of machine, having the additional color is probably quite useful, though.
Okay. This is Mr. Chich, David Chich. Okay.
Yeah. So this is the CEO of Vanguard.
Yeah. So you wrote maybe somewhere not here, but some other. Vanguard has its now office in Europe. In the Brixen. It's close to or the town where DAS is located, right?
Yes. Yes, it's strange to me that they. I just assumed that they would use the Durst offices, but no, they want to have a completely separate operation. So they have a new building in Brixen, so next to Durst, but separate.
But separate.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the same is true for their sales. Right now they will sell through Durst, but they are looking to set up the whole network and to employ their own staff.
I think, but Durst is the owner of this Vanguard, right?
Yes.
And Durst has a power to order. Okay, follow my instruction because they are 100% owner, and they have a right even to quit this guy if they want, right?
I would think so. Yes. I said Durst completely owns it. I don't know the exact terms of the deal, but
okay. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, it seems like unlikely that will carry on for many years because that just seems like an unnecessary expense. But for now, that's what they're doing.
Yeah. Hey, finally, hello, Paddy.
Paddy. Yeah.
Yeah. So Epson didn't have a booth. So where it is?
This is we had coffee at on one of the just off to the side of one of the halls.
So he was carrying these three heads and maybe showing at the coffee stand or something
just to visit the customers and show the heads, yes.
Oh, okay.
And the heads are quite interesting to see in person.
Yeah.
Because before I just have pictures and you can't tell the size.
Okay.
So it is quite, particularly the D3000 on the right, which is the recirculating head for single pass printers. I was surprised at how big that is. But equally, on the other side, the S800 on the left is tiny.
Yeah, it's very tiny. It's tiny.
Yeah.
And this is maybe
this is the S3200.
Yeah, 4 of this one.
Sorry, T3200.
Yeah. So 4 of this one is like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a circulating head. Good.
Yeah.
So is Epson is gaining some new customer in Europe? Inkjet head, as far as inkjet head is concerned.
Well, let us say that Epson would like to have more customers, but I think it's very difficult at this time for everybody to talk about business because it's so hard to travel.
Okay. Number 6 question I just got. Canon booth. They are showing Colorado 1630, 1630 as some cheaper version, low price version. Just a moment. He has website. Yeah, here. So Canon debut Colorado 1630 and Arizona 134 GT with a taste of color FESPA 2021. Okay. So the one which was connected to the photobar cutter, I think that Colorado should be this Colorado 1630, right?
I can't remember right now. There were several Colorados on the stand. I wouldn't say. I think to say that the debuts is a bit far because they announced the Colorado, I think, last year. So maybe it is the first time they're showing it, but it doesn't seem to me like a new printer because I've written this story a long time ago. Okay,
very good. So I think you will write some separate report with some bit more detail and deeper analysis and comments, right? We are looking forward to reading it. Yes, very much looking forward to reading it. And so this is FESPA done. So what comes next in next half a year, for example? What will come?
There was a very busy schedule. So don't forget there was another FESPA, only a short time away. I think FESPA in, I forget, somewhere in Germany. I think it's Berlin, is March, I think. Hang on, just a second, I will check this. Hang on, it was a very busy schedule of events.
So FESPA Amsterdam is done, and only roughly half a year later, they will have another FESPA, not in south, but still in north, like in Berlin. Yeah. So, is there any idea behind that? Elizabeth?
It was just their schedule. This particular show should have happened at the beginning of the year, and they postponed it. So now the option was either to miss a year or have the next show later in the year, or just have 2 shows quite close together, which is what they've done.
Okay. That is FESPA Berlin, another FESPA in Berlin. Is there any other things?
Well, of course, home textile.
In January, right?
Yeah, there is a 3D printing show in I think in November in
Frankfurt.
Formnext, yeah.
That will come.
There's Label Expo. Let me just have a list of story somewhere. Right, so Formnext is next. Home Textile. Then there is Hunkler Innovation Days in Switzerland in February. Imprint in Munich in March. FESPA again in Berlin in end of May, 31st of May to 3rd of June. So quite a few busy shows.
Okay. Funkela, finally, they will do it again.
Yes.
And imprint, what is imprint is doing nowadays? I think imprint at the beginning, I thought it was a very interesting show, and it grew. And but I don't know when was the last. Maybe in I attended imprint in Milan, and it was not a big show. And yeah, one of my friends whom I met at the imprint Milan, I think they change every year, München, Milano, Munich, Milano. I think maybe imprint in Germany is much more interesting.
Yeah, the original plan was that they twinned the show with another show. So it was twinned with I think it's Productronica, and because Productronica moved, they moved with it. So Imprint was bought by another exhibiting company about 2 years ago. So it will all change now, but it's impossible to say how, because this will be the first show with a new company.
So you mean Imprint is not anymore run by Fresba Chesterman and Marcus Nilsson? No?
That's right. They're out of it now.
Oh, okay. They are not involved anymore. Okay.
No, it was a complicated arrangement. They had their own company, but it was a subsidiary of another company. I forget the name of the company, but in any case, the main company was bought by another exhibition company, and they were forced to sell along with it. So it wasn't their choice. They were paid. They earned quite a lot of money out of it, but they would have preferred to carry on.
No, yeah, I think it's a little bit too complicated for me. Maybe, you can explain separately.
It is a complicated arrangement, but it means that the next show will be quite different because it's twinned with a different kind of show altogether. So it's possible to say how it will be.
Yeah, but I think now it is time for new imprint to encourage some exhibitor to join. So is there any brochure?
I think that imprint was losing its way. It was moving more into kind of signs and packaging, whereas really it would be much more interesting to see more industrial printing.
Okay. Interesting. Hi. Just a moment, please. I think all 6 questions from the audience are covered. 質問もしある方ありましたら、もうあと数分ありますので、よろしかったら書き込んでください。あるいはなんか手を挙げていただければご指名もできます。Okay. I think it's a good time. So thank you, Nessan. Thank you, Nessan.
Interesting
for
talk
very
to you.
quick report. I think this works because everybody in the morning, they are looking forward to check what kind of new photo you have taken and uploaded to my website, and a lot of visitors for that page. And also it's good to have this kind of session. Before it's become cool down. So you are still hot.
Yes. Yeah, it's quite an interesting way to work. Yeah.
I think I would like to continue as long as that with Japanese, it's not easy to go out for Europe to attend the show. I think I would ask you to repeat the same in form next or something like that. So I'm happy to support your travel.
Good. Okay.
Okay.
I will decide on the shows as we get near over time, because it's so difficult with the virus. And because I worry that with the winter coming to Europe now, there will be more trouble with travel.
Medical association, they are warning that this particular winter, a conventional flu, conventional influenza is becoming again. It will come back.
Yes.
Because last year almost no influenza, very conventional one is nothing because of the COVID. and people wash hand. But now this is the winter, and again, yeah, classic flu is coming back, reviving back.
Oh, I can easily believe it. There was most of the travel, there's no sense of distancing at all. Everyone's crowded together. The planes were almost completely full. So yeah, I can easily see that it's quite easy to spread the virus.
And in the UK, that you have some booster vaccination for the third time, number 3.
We are just starting.
Okay.
Yeah. Of course, we will start with the older people and move down, but it will take I would say at least 6 months before everybody has got that.
Okay. Oh, thank you for Mr. Morita Oblico. Thank you, Nessan.
Oh, well, thank you. It's nice to hear him.
Okay. Now I'm going to close. So thank you again, Nessan, for your participating and for your hosting the webinar. And looking forward to reading your detailed report, and looking forward to reading your watching your next photo report. Okay.
Yeah, good. That's a good way to do it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you. Nice to talk to you again.
Have a
Take
good
care.
day.